The time portal will open and testing will begin in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the Portal Reloaded speedrun tutorial. This video will be about setting up Portal Reloaded for speedrunning, including Livesplit, SAR, and srconfigs. By default, the Steam client will install the most recent version of the Portal Reloaded game. This fully updated version has a few map changes from the original that break a couple of the speedrun strats. So in most cases, you will want to change your installation to the originally released version of the game. In Steam, go to your library page, then click on the Settings gear icon and on Properties. Go to the Betas section, and where it says None, change that to Release. Release version will install the originally released version of the game. Note that if you make save games with one version of the game, you may not be able to load those save games with a different version, depending on if the map has been updated or not. Once it is done updating, your Steam library entry will show the word release at the end of the game title. Next, you want to go to speedrun.com and get a few utilities to make speedrunning and timing easier. If you go to speedrun.com/p2reloaded, then you can click on the Resources tab. Download the container ride save, which is named for its counterpart in skipping the container ride in the main Portal 2 game. Choose one of the splits to download to your preference in configuring Livesplit. I will be showing this setup with chamber subsplits with maps option. You'll also need the sar.dll file so the game can talk to the Livesplit autosplitter. If you already speedrun Portal 2, you may already have the sar.dll file and you can just copy it from your Portal 2 directory. If you don't already have it from running the main game, you can retrieve it from speedrun.com/portal_2 on that game's resource tab. The link is source auto record. And that'll take you to a GitHub page where you can click on the download link for Windows or Linux, depending on what you're running. You'll also find srconfigs, which can add some useful tools to help make the most of the sar.dll add-on. And just click on the srconfigs link, which takes you to the GitHub page, and choose the latest version and click on the srconfigs.zip file. Download that. Back in the Steam client, we're going to click on the gear icon and go to Manage and then Browse Local Files. That'll bring up a view of our subdirectory under Steam Apps where we got Portal Reloaded installed. We want to go into the subdirectory of that with Portal Reloaded with all lowercase letters and no spaces. And then we want to go ahead and bring up our Downloads folder and go ahead and copy in some of the files that we've gotten from the resources. So sar.dll can go in this directory. I'm also going to copy the LSS Livesplits file. Doesn't have to go in here, but we're going to put it in here for safekeeping. And then in srconfigs, I'm going to open up that zip file and go into the subdirectory where I can see the CFG files. And I want to go ahead and copy all of those CFG files and all of the directories and copy those into the Portal Reloaded CFG directory. The autoexec config file in here is going to do some things for us, like it's going to load that plugin called SAR that we downloaded the DLL file. It's going to run a whole bunch of other commands based on what game we're running, and then at the very end it is going to run a file called extra. It's going to exec extra, which is our own personal config file that we can edit to put our own commands in. So here's the extra file. By default there's nothing in it, but just for example, I can copy some commands in here to give me an input HUD. I'm going to go ahead and save those in there just for an example of some things you can do with the extra config file. And then back into downloads, we can also go and get our crs.sav file and copy it into the save directory into this numbered subdirectory, and then go get crs.sav, and that file will load the beginning of the first level. The last thing I want to do is set up a Livesplit timer. So I've got Livesplit installed, and right now it's just a bare blank timer, and we want to load the splits. I put the splits file in that portal reloaded Steam apps directory, so I'm going to highlight that and do Control-C to copy it, and then I'm going to right click and open splits from file, and I can go ahead and paste, and it'll open up the directory where the splits file is. That'll give you this view here. Portal Reloaded Speedrun has 12 map files, with most maps containing multiple chambers. The splits that we downloaded were subsplits with maps. Displaying the subsplits that we downloaded as splits, which is what happens by default, looks odd in the Livesplit window because it treats all of the subsplits inside the maps in the same level as the map transition splits. We can edit the layout and remove the splits and add a new list of subsplits, which will work better with the splits that we downloaded from the website. So if you look through the list, you can see that all of the subsplits in each map, or all the chambers in each map, are taken into account when displaying the different subsplits. It's a cleaner look. Now the timer starts at 0. The timer needs to start at like 39 seconds, but SAR will actually take care of that and move the timer up for you. If you like, you can edit the splits and tell the start timer to go to the correct time, just for looks before you start your run. I'm going to go ahead and put 39.90 in there. So if we go ahead and start the game, right away you can see there's a couple new HUD elements up on the left. That'll be more filled in when we start a level. I'm going to go ahead and go to the console. At the top of the console you can see messages telling you which version of srconfigs and SAR got loaded, so we know those work right. One thing we need to do is we need to bind a key. I'm going to use mouse 3. We're going to bind that to plus attack 3, and that will let you fire the time portal with your middle mouse button. And one of the commands that was added by the SAR and the srconfigs is do reset, and do reset will stop any speedrun that you're being timed in. It'll reset the timer, and it will then load the crs.sav file. One thing SAR does is reduce the loading times between levels. Removes a lot of the procedure and just loads the level as quickly as possible. It doesn't save any game time because loading times aren't timed anyway, but it does save you real time.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
As soon as the countdown finishes, your timer starts on the screen, and that's a good indication that SAR is talking to Livesplit. And you can see some of the other elements up in the HUD. We've got our position and angle and velocity, which might be handy during the game. Also, the SAR and srconfigs is recording demos. You'll get a full set of demos for every run, automatically recorded in the demo directory in your Portal Reloaded directory. Down at the bottom of the screen we can see the ihud that we added from the commands in the extra config file. That will show the buttons that we press and the inputs that we make. I'd like to mention there are also great Discord communities that are often helpful in learning the games. There's a huge community for the Portal 2 base game, and the Portal 2 Speedrun server Discord is full of smart, helpful people. There is also a Discord for Portal Reloaded specifically. I'll leave links for both in the description. Portal Reloaded is a quick run with lots of options through the 25 chambers. Fast portals, fast flings, and time travel. Good luck and have fun.